It's been another very odd day in the crypto market. We had kind of a surge that came out of nowhere, liquidated a bunch of shorts yet again, which is a great time because ADA got up to the prices like we were talking about earlier today. That's always very promising. But there are some weird flows that are happening in the crypto market. There is some strange performance taking place this week that I definitely think we need to discuss. And I want to actually talk about a few things that are going on here for ADA as well. We're seeing very, very strong flows for ADA this week, and we're also nestling into this kind of range like we discussed. And could this in fact be the moment where we start to see things change just a little bit? We'll discuss all that and more in this video. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So it's like we talked about earlier today. ADA did get up into that 84-cent range and actually got up to just above 85 cents. This actually happened right at about, 11 a.m., 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. We had a bunch of short leverage liquidations that happened in a very condensed block. I was very surprised. I saw my alerts started going off. Prices changed very quickly throughout the crypto market. We actually saw BTC surge above 124K, which was very promising as well. Again, holding above that longer term trend, which this all looks really good. This is exactly what we need to see in terms of altcoins in the crypto market. Right now, there's a lot of indecision. And when we're looking at something like BTC dominance, you guys can see that yesterday we obviously had that big drop all the way through that 20-day moving average, but we're still kind of hanging around that 50-day. We're trying to decide, hey, are we going to set a higher high here? Is this in fact where we're starting to see this move the opposite direction, right? Because this now is actually a little bit lower low. So maybe we're setting a slightly lower high here, and we could actually be on the verge of a trend change that is very promising for altcoins. Something I did want to mention here as well is flows this week for ADA have been very, very heavily out of exchanges. For example, if we take a look at the 6th, which is technically the 7th, $17 million out of exchanges in that day alone. The 5th, which is the 6th, $24 million. The day prior to that, $21 million. These are big, big days for ADA. This is shaping up to potentially be the largest week we have seen in months. And this concentration of days is the highest concentration of days in terms of volume we have seen since all the way back in March. So this is a very strange week. Something really bizarre is taking place, and maybe it has to do with what's going on with BNB. This is something that several people have discussed. We obviously know that BNB just hit a new all-time high. It actually surged, I believe, all the way up to, over $1,300. Great week for BNB. But is this actually at the expense of manipulation in the crypto market? It's very odd that a $180 billion market cap has surged 26% over the last 7 days. And at the same time, other assets have been dumping. In fact, if we look at yesterday, many assets saw a red day in the crypto market. BNB was basically the only one that was green. It's a little bit strange. And right now there's a lot of capital flowing to BNB. So is there potentially some manipulation taking place from Binance? That's totally possible. All right. I've seen people reference this before. We've seen on red days, there seems to be heavy outflows of Bitcoin, or a huge selling, quote unquote, in terms of Bitcoin on exchanges. It's really bizarre. And we're having trouble making a little bit of sense of it. And maybe this will become more clear as time progresses. But this is something to definitely pay attention to. And I think this is one of the biggest reasons why it's important to keep assets off of exchanges. Because guess what? If your assets are not on exchanges, they can't do whatever the hell they want with them. There's no reserves for them to play with. Just a thought. This isn't financial advice. People can do whatever they want. But what I will say here is ADA's still in this very comfortable range. And just in the grand scheme of things, let's look at this, right? ADA's in a channel inside of a channel, right? We're still, if we zoom out and we look longer term here, we are still in our SOS phase in terms of our Wyckoff accumulation model. Nothing has really changed here, right? We're just chopping around. We're waiting for the moment that we can get out of this SOS phase. It's been really long. We've been in SOS since all the way back, almost at the start of August. So for almost 2 months here, we've been chopping and waiting until we can actually extend into phase E. Could we actually be starting to get into this moment. It's possible. When we look back at this ADA BTC chart, we talked about the very corner of this trend, this longer term trend that was building for ADA and this longer term support. We're sitting right nestled into this corner right now. We bounced off of this actually back on Monday, and we're getting a little bit of a green day today. Could this in fact be where we're starting to see the pivot? We've actually had stochastic RSI flip there. We have RSI pushing against resistance there as well. I guess I didn't really look at the MACD. I don't look at MACD a ton, but this probably isn't going to show correctly here anyways. Screw it. It's not working. But anyways, you guys get the point. There's a lot of things right now that are suggesting a potential pivot the opposite direction here in the back half of the week. And we'll end up seeing if that's the case. But I wanted to make sure I talked about this today. I don't know what's going to happen overnight. Again, this was a little bit of a trap in the crypto market. I don't know if I showed this or not. In the last 12 hours, $108 million in shorts liquidated versus $60 million in longs. Yeah, they're just moving everything all over the place right now. Open interest across the crypto market still remains incredibly high. We're above $220 billion. And just kind of taking a look at this historically, guys, this is near record highs. So that's kind of where we're at right now. But I wanted to share that with you guys this evening. We'll see where things are at tomorrow morning. Hopefully overseas money decides to move things the right direction this time. But have a great night. Show your love below. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.